Live from iRacing's virtual Zandvoort, welcome sim racing fans to round 9 of the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship live on RaceSpotTV. Happy that you're all here with us on this beautiful Friday evening, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside with me in the commentary booth is Ewan O'Leary, with our technical director, Hugo Louise, down in the virtual production trailer. Ewan, this track is relatively unique from what we've seen. A lot of uphill, a lot of downhill, some harsh curbs these drivers will have to navigate, and, oh, by the way, a long banked final corner blending back onto the front straightaway.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different challenge to what we've seen so far, really, in any capacity. I guess Phillip Island's kind of comparable with its twisty nature, high-speed nature, but yeah, this is not like anything we really see in the rest of this season. Exceptionally hard to overtake around here, though. We might see a similar thing at Imola. Red Bull Ring and Silverstone are going to be fantastic ones to round off our season, which is coming to a close quicker than I thought, certainly. Yeah, qualifying going to be very, very important. We'll get into that in a moment, but yeah, for the reasons you just mentioned there, high-speed corners, twisty, up and down, it does make for difficult overtaking. So this next couple of minutes, these next couple of laps, very important for the outcome of the day.
Of course, recently becoming a Formula One circuit, where they'll go to for the Dutch Grand Prix this season, but for now it still lives on here in iRacing in the older, non-upgraded version of Zandvoort that, of course, got upgraded for Formula One to go there. But we're still here, still same layout, still same track map, and we're watching these drivers take to the track here in qualifying. About 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. It's Kyle Collette up at the top of the board right now. Cyan Koide gonna move up into P2 in the number 3 machine. Some good laps being laid down. Fastest one currently at 1:30.065 as the rest of these drivers work their way through the track to try and get best on the board. And here comes Rod Clinard in the number 9. He'll get the fastest lap. Never mind. There goes Connor Wagner to the top with a 1:29.650. And Kyle Collette gonna go right back to the top. 1:29.293. He beats out Connor Wagner by about 0.4 of a second. Who's gonna be the next to go up to the top of the board? Falcon to second. Benitez to 4th. Koide falls all the way down to 8th. So does Clinard. He falls to 7th. Zwemstra went up to 8th. He's down to 6th. Samuel Hermer now in 5th. What will Flavio Dantas be able to do as he exits turn number 10?
Yeah, we'll wait and see. Already a couple of race wins so far this season, and a very important opportunity for him right now to get up towards the likes of Falcon, etc. So let's wait and see as he comes over the line, see where he can get up to.
Across the line, it is not going to be enough for the pole. It's going to be 7th place currently on the leaderboard, 1:29.880. Close for Dantas, just not close enough. This one car goes spinning off of look to be turn 3. Will intercept here Ted Bradbury. He works his way through the middle sector of this track, diving his way into turn number 7, roundabout into turn number 8 behind the wheel, that number 24. And he legs to that corner. Get ready for that old sweeping left-hander of turn 9. A long straightaway here, DRS zone for Formula One, and they'll go all the way down to turn number 10. Let's see what Bradbury has for his lap. Looks like he is getting ready to take his first green flag here, about 1.5 minutes left in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like all the main players have really come over the line now. Claudio Visparelli is still out there, but he's down in 13th, so none of the top 10 really got anything else to play for. Ted Bradbury, though, is going to be the final one to get himself ready. Clipping that curve, which is not great, and he's going to slow down on the run up towards the line. Not happy with how that's gone at all, and that's the end of his qualifying. So out of the 27 cars in the garages, we've got 24 with a lap time, and most of them, well, a lot of them, let's say 12 of them within a second around a twisty circuit like this is no mean feat at all. Looks like Kyle Collette, though, is going to take the pole here unless Brian Pinnock can really pull something very, very special out of the bag.
And something we need to mention, Raul Hyman, usually fast in this series, down in 24th currently in qualifying with no laps left. while we finish up qualifying. We're going to take a short break here on RaceSpotTV, but when we come back, it's green flag action from Zandvoort. Don't go anywhere. You're tuning in to the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship. Taking the pole here from Virtual Zandvoort, Kyle Collet. They'll start on the pole in the number 6 machine with Gabriel Mini to his outside. Cyan Koide in third with Adrian Falcon in fourth. Connor Wagner, Ralph Benitez rounding out the top 3 rows as they take the green flag. Samuel Hermer in 7th. Flavio Dantas in 8th with Kevin Zwemstra sitting in 9th with Rod Clinard rounding out that top 10. Jose Kaplan, David Porcelli rounding out the first 6 rows with Tobias Olsen and Claudio Visparelli rounding out that top 14. Donato Gargiso in 15th, Kettle Larson in 16th, Dennis Cornu in 17th, Dante Macchiato in 18th, Brian Pina in 19th with Vincenzo Marone in 20th. Alex Ledoux in 21st, Scott Tuffy 22nd, Victor Balea 23rd, Raul Hyman 24th, Ben Cullen 25th, Ted Bradbury 26th with Cody Grahams rounding out the 27 cars ready to take the green flag here from Virtual Zandvoort. And Edwin, I think it's going to be interesting to see Raul Hyman fight up there from 24th. Ben Cullen, another fast driver, is going to have to fight from 25th as well. This is going to be an exciting round. As we wait for that green light to come on, we get ready to go racing here from Virtual Zandvoort. Waiting on the last handful of cars to make their way to the grid. 27 drivers ready to go racing with just 2 cars waiting to get onto the grid. And we're going to let these drivers loose. And here we go. It's green flag racing from Zandvoort. The lights go up and they go green. We are racing from Virtual Zandvoort. And what a getaway for Kyle Collet in the 6th. He'll take the early lead. It's Mini right behind. Koide, Falcon, Wagner top 5 as they will race into turn number 1. It's 2x2, maybe even 3x3 a little bit further back. Still side by side. Getting clear is 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place clear. They're single file for a handful of rows and 1 car around. It's the 18, Tobias Olsen around in 1.
Yeah, 1 casualty, I'm afraid, in the end. This very important part of the race. It looks like it's claimed another couple of victims as well. Waiting to see who those are, but this is what we see at Zandvoort.
It was Flavio Dantas involved, Zwemstra involved as well. One of the most dominant cars of the entire season, just taken out there in turn number 1. Contact made with the 15 of Zwemstra. That sent Dantas into the wall. And I think one of the favorites to win this race just got taken out in the first lap, Owen.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already won 2 races so far this season as Flavio Dantas, favourite to win another one. And yeah, will not be able to, of course, back in the garage and out of this race, you might suspect at this point. We're going to try and get a replay so that we can show everybody, but yeah, it's very unfortunate. I've got to say, this is what we see at Zandvoort, really, with the difficulty of overtaking. You need to make your positions up when you can, and obviously the most obvious position to do that is on lap 1 into turn 1. Unfortunately, that does mean there are often 2 or 3 casualties. That's what we've seen already in this race.
So it's still Kyle Collet leading the way. Here's the incident for Flavio Dantas. You can see just Zwemstra just misjudged that braking zone for turn 2. Slammed into that back wing of Dantas. Nothing he could do. And that sends him right on into the guardrail. And as the rest of the field continues to work their way here for lap number 2, race leader Kyle Collet starting to have a bit of pressure from Mini and Koide behind. Top 3 breaking away, all battling for this race lead as they go onto the straightaway. You can see put a blanket under the top 6 all the way back to Benitez, only separated by about 3 seconds right now.
It's very, very close indeed. This is what's going on a little bit further down, or was going on. This is at last lap. A little bit of contact for Lado and multiple cars spinning around. That was not a good rejoin, by the way. That was very, very poor indeed, I'm afraid, and that's taken out another couple of cars. But that's all going on further down. A lot of cars in the pit lane after that first lap, which is not what we like to see at all. But it's bound to happen, really. Yeah, it's a real shame for Dantas as well, because that incident really wasn't his fault either. Yeah, a bit unfortunate, but as I mentioned, there's a lot at stake at lap 1 at Zandvoort.
A lot at stake indeed. And that makes Kyle Collet that race leader and trying to still pull away from Gabriel Mini behind, trying to pull away from Koide as well, from Falcon, from Wagner. That's your top 5 as they currently stand. A handful of other drivers still battling for position further back, but this battle for the lead really starting to develop now, Ewan, and not getting any closer as Mini, but also Collet not being able to pull away that much. They'll set the fastest lap currently, 1:30.427, but we are seeing what we normally see here in the F3 series, where that lead car can't really pull away, but the car chasing also can't really get up to the back wing. It's going to take a lot, and possibly a mistake there from Collet for Mini to be able to catch him. Familiar story with Ralph Benitez as he's on the back wing of Wagner, not being able to get any closer. He's going to need a mistake from the car in front.
Yeah, exactly. These guys trying to get through on other cars are going to need mistakes, and that's why the likes of Gabriel Mini, Ralph Benitez we're on board with right now need to apply the pressure from lap 1 right the way to lap 20. No, these guys are very, very good indeed, but you've got to just apply the pressure and hope for that mistake at some point throughout the race, and it indeed may come. It may come, even if it's just a half mistake. Just one slight miss of the apex. Doesn't have to be going off into the grass or in the gravel or anything like that. Just a poor run off of the final corner, for example, and it might just be enough for that run down into turn 1 for you to make that move stick. So you just got to keep applying the pressure from the very, very start of the race right till the very end, and hoping for that opportunity to come. Yeah, it's going to be nose to tail for the lead for the entire race, really, between Collet and Mini. If Collet was really the class of the field, then he would be clear by now, in my opinion. So I think Mini has got the pace to stick with him. Whether he's got the pace to stick with him throughout 20 laps is another matter, and whether he's got the pace to go through as well is also entirely different. However, it's certainly setting up for a nervy 20 laps for Collet.
Yeah, and Collet leading the way right now. You mentioned Mini having that pace. He certainly does, not letting him get away too much. Hopping back to the battle for 14th. It's Ben Cullen versus Dante Mercado. Mercado car chasing currently. Cullen in front of this battle right now. They're trying to catch up to Victor Balea there in the 13, who we just saw a moment ago. 3 cars all battling here at Zandvoort. 3 laps down on lap number 4 now. And it was a good start for Ben Cullen to work his way up a handful of spots, but continuing to just fight there now from 14th. And one driver who we wanted to watch and who's working his way up through the field, Raul Hyman. He is up to P11, about to make a move on Claudio Visparelli for P10 as we go on board with Hyman now in the 4. You can see him right in that slipstream, trying to make a move down into turn number 10. Not going to be able to do it. You can see how much they cut that corner there, Owen. If any people watching right now are familiar with F1 2021 or F1 2020 also for that matter, Zandvoort is in both of those games, and that corner is one that is often cut even in that game, and it's the same here in this simulation of iRacing. They're cutting that corner as much as they can without getting a slowdown. Mini with the fastest lap. Here comes the pass for 10th. Hyman goes to the inside and 1.
Yeah, it's slam dunk maneuver, really. This is what the guys further up need to do, really, trying to get the good run out of the final corner for that move into turn 1. That's what Mini's trying to do right now, as you can see. But Hyman has made fantastic progress. I was going to say before at the start of the race that Hyman's going to find it very, very difficult indeed, but he's not so far. He's got up 11 places, and that's a very good job from him indeed. Also, Senko has done a fantastic job as well to get up to 3rd. 6 places made up for him. So a couple of big movers and shakers, getting through those opening laps and those opening corners very, very well indeed. And now they're setting themselves up for a good race. We're certainly enjoying this race between the two up front. A little bit of a half move from Mini, we'll call it, but nothing doing just yet.
Buying that time there as we work on lap number 5. It'll be 15 to go this time by, and you could still see the top 4 right there. I think Mini, if he does end up making a mistake, or Collet for that matter, I think Koide and I think Falcon are going to be right back on their back wings going if a mistake happens. But as they come back onto the front straightaway, we can see Mini trying to pull out a line just to see when he can make that move, and you can see him using that slipstream. The gap went from about 4/10 down to about 2. As to the inside goes Benitez on Wagner. Teammates fighting as they go through the corner and give that spot to Ralph Benitez there in the 5 as they work their way through turn 2. Benitez will punch his way into the top 5 and go up to try and join this battle for the lead up front.
Last week's race winner, of course, with the classic turn 1 manoeuvre. Really, it's been used many times in this race already, and there's no doubt we'll see it again. So yeah, clearly in a good run of form is Benitez, and looking to get up the order. Might not be a second race win in 2 weeks for him on this occasion. I think it's going to be a tall order for him in this length of a race. However, you never know, and he'll certainly keep pushing for it. But yeah, another solid top 5 for him will be very pleasing.
Well, Ellen, I think talking about that turn 1 move, it seems like really here in these F3 cars, and especially here at Zandvoort, that slipstream is going to be the key to making those moves on the car in front, because we don't see a lot of difference in the gaps as they work their way through the more technical sections of this course. We see those gaps close on these long straightaways. The front straightaway, exit of turn 9 down into turn number 10, basically the 2 F1 DRS zones. That's where we're seeing the gaps really shrink. And speaking of gaps shrinking, Mini goes down now to about 1/10 of a second, about a little less than 2/10, about 1.5 tenths there, going down into turn number 1. So it seems like, Owen, going down into turn 1 or down into 10 is really where these moves are going to be made off of these long straightaways using the slipstream.
Yeah, it seems to be that's going to be the case, and if you want to make a move, at least in the battle we've been monitoring between Collet and Mini, you want to be within 3/10, or at least on that 3/10 kind of bubble. For Mini, if he can come off the final corner with about 3/10 of a margin, he might just about be there by the time they're in the braking zone for turn 1, which is not a massive braking zone, which is, you know, even though it's the best overtaking opportunity on this circuit, it's still a difficult one. But if you can be within that 3/10, then you've got a real good shot, especially if they don't defend the inside line, which you're somewhat hesitant to do because you can hang it around the outside here quite well as well. So it's a tricky one to defend from, really, but it's just about getting yourself into that position. That's what Mini's trying to do right now. Luckily for him, he's got 20 attempts to do it. He's rapidly running out of the first half of those. We'll see if he can make any difference on this occasion here. Here's the final couple of corners.
That gap is slightly below 4/10 of a second. We could see him getting dangerously close to a move, and I think Collet knows that. Here's the defense. Goes all the way down to the pit wall on the front straightaway. That did help. Not that much for Collet, but I think it did at least delay a move from Mini, because that gap got down to about 1.5 tenths. Koide with the fastest lap. He might be trying to fight from third. They are wing to wing now as they go their way through turn 3 onto the straightaway down into 4. We could see a pass for the lead coming down this straightaway off turn 9.
Let's wait and see through the S's. It's not a bad slipstreaming opportunity in these cars. He's going to go to the outside line through the longest corner on the circuit. Not quite. That would have been brave, though.
Shutting the door for the lead is Collet. They work their way through turn 7. Is Mini going to be able to make a move on the straightaway off turn 9, or are we going to see a move be made down the front straightaway into 1. Is Mini even going to attempt it here? Lap number 8 out of 20. We still have half of this race to go. Down the straightaway, how's the gap going to be affected? It's about 3.5 tenths, starting to close. Not enough closure as they make their way into turn number 10. Collet will keep the lead. Mini in second. What's the gap going to be like on the exit of the final corner? That is going to dictate if Mini's going to be close enough on the front straightaway. Looks a bit closer than it was last time by. Is Collet going to go as defensive as he was last time by? Let's find out. Onto the front straightaway. Collet in full defense mode. Mini in full attack mode. Down to 0.3 of a second as they cross the start-finish line into turn number 1. Mini makes a dive to the bottom. Door going to be slammed on by Collet, and they'll stay 1 and 2. The 6 car back out in front. The 8 not able to get a move done.
The incredible thing about this battle right now is the fact that the guys behind can't even do anything about it. Despite the fact they are battling right now, they're not closing, which just shows the pace that both Collet and Mini have right now. Here's another opportunity. He was so close coming up the hill last time around. He's trying to go around the outside once again, but not for the moment. He's not quite getting that desperate right now. There's still 12 laps to go if you include this one, but he's certainly applying the pressure. It seems at this point to be a matter of when, not if. But Collet could well defend this for the entire race. It's a sprint race, of course, so it is possible to get to the front and just defend your way to the win.
Back onto the second DRS straightaway. They'll come across the line to put 9 laps behind them, go on to lap number 10. What can Collet do now? He's getting very close to losing this lead from Gabriel Mini right behind. He's going to need to play full defense, and he's already been doing that. The gap growing a little bit, up to 0.5 of a second as they go onto the front straightaway. Collet still goes into full defense, down to the pit wall, goes right back up to the outside line. But Mini lost time somewhere through that middle section of this course. He only got down to about 3.5 tenths that time. So Mini loses a bit of ground. Collet gonna gain a bit, and the 6 is gonna keep the lead. We'll go halfway done with this race this time by the start-finish line. How is this battle going to continue to develop? They work their way past the lapped machine. Mini gonna need to get better through these middle technical corners if he wants to keep the gap low to Collet in the lead. No pass for the lead attempted in turn 6 this time.
Yeah, just not close enough, really. And we keep talking about that magic 3/10 marker. You need to be there coming through the final corner to really be able to make a move into turn 1. Well, it's easier said than done, really, because these cars, after all, are open-wheel cars. They're reliant on the downforce, the wings that you can see. And so following that close is quite difficult. And it's not actually advantageous for, being there for the entire 20 laps. Your tyres are going to overheat, and you're just going to lose the grip from them. So you do need to just be a little bit careful on that front, because Mini has certainly got the pace to follow that quickly. Follow that closely, I should say. However, nobody is going to have the tyre management to be able to do that at the pace that they're going right now. So it's just going to be a little bit careful at that. Maybe just backing off for 1 or 2 laps right now, and then he'll be coming back at Collet again towards the end of the race. That's the danger, though. He's letting the pressure off of Collet, and that is allowing him to stretch his legs, get the fastest lap as you've just seen.
So the fastest lap for Collet last time by as we go halfway done with this race. Gotta think Collet is starting to gain a bit of confidence back, but here comes Mini. And I don't think we're fully out of the weeds of seeing a Cyan Koide resurgence here in the last couple of laps of this race. If he can gain time to these leaders, we could see a 3-way fight for this lead. But for now, we stay focused on the 2-car battle for the lead. The 6-car at Kyle Collet, the 8-car at Gabriel Mini. They fight through turn 8, going through turn 9 now. Will we see a pass for the lead on the front straightaway? And when it looks like these middle section of these corners is where Collet is able to keep that lead, Mini's just not able to get close enough to be in a range where he can use that slipstream more effectively and make the move for the win.
not really through this middle section here. He's just struggling a little bit, and I think it might be a little bit to do with that the wake of the car in front and it being very, very difficult to follow. We'll wait and see, really, but yeah, it certainly seems to be struggling slightly. What I think also is helping Collet very much is the fact that his runs out of the final corner are actually quite good. You see the way he's taking the penultimate corner, especially, he's monstering the curb, which is really what you want to do. Well, I didn't know that, but it certainly seems to be fast, whatever he's doing. So, yeah, he's getting a good run onto the front straight. That's very important as well, because it's kind of covering off the best overtaking opportunity. Yeah, he's certainly driving it well right now. Let's not give all the credit to Mini for kind of biding his time here. Collet is driving well as well. Let's not forget about that.
Mini setting the fastest lap of the race last time by. Definitely very interesting. Not a full 10th faster than Collet, but just about. He was only about 2/100ths of a second off from being a full 10th. So about 1/100ths of a second quicker than Collet last time by. We go split screen here on RaceSpotTV. There you can see battle for the lead as well, as it looks to be a battle further back for P10. That is P9. That is Jose Kaplan versus Raul Hyman on the right side of your screen. Battle for the lead on the left side of your screen as we continue to race here at Zandvoort. That is Raul Hyman there in the 4, and we've been talking about him. He started back in P24, up 14 spots from where he originally started the day, and he's looking to make that 15 on a move with Jose Kaplan. We go full screen now on this battle. The 10 of Kaplan holding P9. The 4 of Hyman wants the spot. They exit turn 10, or sorry, turn 11. Are they going to be able to make anything happen in turn 12? No. Hyman going to stay there in 10th, but we could see some slipstream battling happen here. Hyman goes to the bottom looking for the spot. Collet sets the fastest lap. Defensive as they split a lapped machine. And actually, that's Samuel Hermer, who I believe got into the gravel. Hyman gonna not only get the spot over Kaplan, he's gonna get the spot on Hermer, putting him up to P8.
That was very, very bizarre and quite close to an accident almost. Let's take another look at Samuel Hermer. He did indeed just get a little bit wide through that penultimate corner. You can get yourself all messed up on the curbs and the bumps on the grass and the gravel on the outside there. He rejoined the best he could, but there's just no real way there's no real good way anyway to do that. So yeah, he's quite lucky that this isn't the configuration with the walls very, very close, because that might have been the end of his day. But there's a massive bump on the outside there. And especially, well, in any car really, the front wheels get flung up into the air. You've got absolutely no control of the car at all. That's exactly what we've just seen from Hermer there. Very, very unfortunate for him, certainly. And yeah, he's done well to keep it out of the barriers, but I'm afraid he's lost a couple of places.
Fighting still on the racetrack is Hyman, and we talked about him, Ewan, at the start of this show, when in qualifying pretty much both of his laps thrown out for whatever reason. They were not good at all, and I believe the second one was thrown out for getting a 0x or a 1x on the track, as Mini sets the new fastest lap of 129.146. Very fun to see Raul Hyman cut his way through this field because he is so quick and knows these cars so well. I would not be shocked if we see him fighting for a top 5 in the next 7 laps to try and get a top 5 finish.
Yeah, absolutely. It could well happen. Really, at this point, it's very close between some of these guys. Yeah, it might be a little bit of a stretch for Hyman to get top 5, but we'll wait and see if he can. But still plenty of battles to be watching. And Mini got very close to Collet that time. I don't know if that was the timing screen playing tricks on us just slightly, but he is only a 10th behind at the moment. And no, actually, he is applying the pressure quite severely, actually, now to Collet.
Take a look at this battle right on the back wing. It's Mini versus Collet. We could see the battle for the win be made here. He steps out, looks to the bottom in turn 10. The door shut from Collet. He is very on the defense right now as Mini sits from P2. How is this going to be on the front straightaway? Will we see the slipstream battle? We know Collet is going to go full defensive down to the bottom of the racetrack. You're on board with Collet now in the 6. He goes straight to the pit wall. Mini follows. Shades of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as they race down the front straightaway. It's not going to be enough. They only get down to 2/10. A dive to the bottom main. Not going to be enough. Mini going to once again.
Mini is very good on the brakes, especially into turn 1, and he can definitely use that to his advantage late on in this race, or at any time in this race, really, when it's really getting down to it, and the dive bombs may indeed come out. Let's wait and see on that one, but Mini looking very, very strong right now, and yeah, I don't know. This race is hanging in the balance so much, I really don't know how to call it. It's so close, and it's pretty much a 50-50 shot at who is actually going to take the win in this one. It's very close.
Collet, a 2018 French F4 champion, currently racing in the FIA Formula 3 Championship for MP Motorsport, and is an Alpine Academy driver. Man, if that doesn't make Gabriel Mini just a little bit more nervous about this battle for the lead, I think it should. Mini, although he's no slouch right now. You can see him fighting there from second, trying to fight in that 8 car. Last time by in the sectors, a little bit faster through sector 2, but Collet still getting the best of him in the first and third.
Oh, lap car on the inside of the final corner, and that could be a bad thing for Collet. Has it halted him enough to get through? Doesn't look like it, but that could be one of the moments that really allows me to go for it. Look at him, he's gone for it, and they've clashed.
Around goes Collet, contact made. The dive to the bottom didn't work, and around goes Collet in the 6. He falls to 5th. Not sure if there's any damage to that car, but with Mini in the lead, he's now going to worry about Collet behind in second. Unbelievable complications in the battle for the lead. Mini will take it. Collet now to fight from second with 5 to go.
Mini's been very strong under brakes the entire time, but he just took it a little bit too far on that occasion, and he looks damaged. He looks damaged right now the way he's driving that car. Corday is so close, and he needs to get through as quickly as possible because Adrian Falcon is not too far behind. He's going to be hot on his heels if he leaves this too much longer, and so he needs to get through urgently. How on earth is Mini going to hold off this one? Let's take a look. This dive bomb is, I'm afraid, a little bit too far back. Maybe Collet could have seen him coming and giving him the room, but he didn't want to, of course, and Corday goes to the lead. Mini cannot defend with the car in the state that it is.
Look who's in third, Adrian Falcon, ready to join this fight. We have a 3-car battle for the lead. Make it 2 as Falcon goes to second. It's Corday versus Falcon now. Mini with damage, gonna fall down to third. We're gonna see the 3 versus the 1 here, battling for the win. 4 laps to go from Zandvoort. Is it all Corday, or can Adrian Falcon make up the 7/10 of a second? Now 6.5 as they race through turn 2 to try and battle for the lead. Collet into the pit lane. Mini stays out on the racetrack for the moment, but Collet needs damage repair.
Oh dear, that's such a shame. Mini looks like he's going to be able to stick it out, but Collet absolutely can't. Let's have a look at this battle for the lead. It wasn't much of a battle, I'm afraid. Just nothing that Gabriel Mini can do with the car the way it is, and he's going to go wide for the penultimate corner as well, in a very similar way to what we saw not so long ago. Yeah, unfortunately, again, keeps it out of the barriers, but no way he's going to be able to hold on to, probably not even a podium. He's probably not going to be holding on to, but look at who's got the fastest lap at the moment. Adrian Falcon with the bit between his teeth. He wants to get another race win. He's already had 3 this year, and this season I should say, and yeah, wants another one. That would be an incredible record for him, but it's going to be a close fight.
Adrian Falcon, that name so familiar around the iRacing Formula 3 community. He is known as a fast racer and one of the drivers to watch. And you're seeing exactly why right here, right now. He is also looking for his first win since round 7 at Phillip Island. That sounds not that long ago. It was only about 2 weeks ago was the round at Phillip Island. Last week, it was not Adrian Falcon on the top step of the podium. He wants to get back there. They race out of turn 1. 3 laps to go now. Koide with about a second lead over Falcon. The one machine is going to need to make up more time than he is currently now on the racetrack because time is running out and he's running out of room on the racetrack. Here's a replay. Claudio Vesparelli getting onto the gravel, spinning around on the exit of the final corner. That's turn 13 and almost making contact with 3 cars.
Good avoidance from everybody, to be fair, to be able to not have contact there. It could have been pretty disastrous for everybody, but they got away with it in the end, and fair play to them for managing that. But yeah, Vesparelli not having the best day, I'm afraid. 13th position for him, and under a bit of pressure actually as well. But Falcon just had, I'm not sure if it was a slow down, but just coming out of here, the Audi S at turns 10 and 11, he just slowed down a little bit from about 4 tenths behind Koide to 1.1 seconds behind, and with only 2 laps to go at the end of this one, that could be a race-winning margin, just under a second. So we'll wait and see. But I believe Falcon might have had some kind of problem coming out of those corners on the last lap.
Falcon not making too much time up with this gap for the lead with 2 to go. It's 9 tenths right now. That is not enough to be able to rival for the lead, unfortunately. It looks like it's going to be all Sasai and Koide at the front of this field. And Koide has not had a bad day here, Ellen. Of course, he got lucky with the contact between Mini and Cole that put him up into the lead. But we want to talk about one of the fastest drivers all day. We got to talk about Koide. Qualified in 3rd, one of the faster drivers in practice, had the best lap in qualifying for a considerable amount of time. So Koide has not been a slouch today, and this is going to be a good victory for the 3 if he can hold on to Falcon. As I was talking, Falcon makes up another 2 tenths. It's down to 7.
Well, this next time into turn 1 is the last time, so it might be too little too late for Falcon. He might just run out of laps by 1 here, but you can't fault him for trying. He's pushing so hard, and it's a real surprise really to see Koide up here right now. We've not seen him up towards the pointy end of a race here in the F3 Championship all season long, but now all of a sudden he's not only up towards the front, but he's actually winning this one, and it looks like he might be able to just carry this one home. 8 tenths of a second into 1 lap. I think without a mistake that is going to be enough.
Battle between Clinard and Hyman on the right side of your screen for P6 as we stay on your leaders, Cyan Koide on the left side of your screen. White flag is out. 1 more lap around Zandvoort. Clinard gonna hold on to P6 there, right side of your screen, but Hyman trying to get 1 more position on the day. He has already gained 17 since the start of this race. Speaking of 17, also gaining 17 spots on the day, Ted Bradbury. But Hyman not gonna be able to get another one on Clinard just yet as they race up the hill. He makes a look to the outside. It's not gonna be enough as they work their way through the right-hander. Clinard trying to hold on to 6, defend all he can. Right on that back wing is the number 4 machine, Raul Hyman. You're on board with him now. As they race their way through turn 8, you can see a much wider exit for Clinard in 6th. Going through now the left-hander of turn number 9. This might be the last opportunity for Hyman to make a move. Into the gravel goes Rod Clinard. Can Hyman make a move into turn 10? Clinard gonna make him go the long way around, and it's not gonna work. Clinard gonna hold on to P6, and out of the final corner, it's gonna be Cyan Koide that takes the win from virtual Zandvoort after an exciting round of the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship. 5 tenths the gap at the line, and with the fastest lap from Falcon, it just wasn't enough to take the win, and it's not enough for Hyman to take P6. He'll have to settle for 7th.
Only half a second at the very end between Koide and Falcon. A fantastic race, and we said that he couldn't overtake around Zandvoort. Well, it was certainly difficult, and it doesn't mean that it's going to be a boring race by any stretch of the imagination. Gabriel Mini was trying to get through, and in the end he paid for it. The 2 leaders were just battling all race long, and in the end neither of them got it.
What a win for Sion Koide at the end of this race. A very, very quick driver out here on the track today, 21-year-old from Japan. Note, of course, for the FIA Formula 4 Japanese Challenge from 2020, and he takes the win here in Zandvoort. It's Adrian Falcon in second, Ralph Benitez third, Gabriel Mini comes home in fourth, even with the damage. Connor Wagner rounds out the top five with Rod Clinard, Raul Hyman, Samuel Hermer, Ted Bradbury, and Victor Bolia rounding out the top 10. It's Vincenzo Marone in 11th, Claudio Visparelli in 12th, Donato Gargiso in 13th, Ben Cullen 14th, with Dante Mikado rounding out your top 15. David Porcelli in 16th, Kjetil Larson in 17th, Dennis Cornu in 18th, Brian Pina in 19th, with Kyle Collet coming home in 20th, 3 laps down after that incident in turn number 1. Rounding out the entire field, it's Jose Kaplan, Alex Ledo, Cody Grams, Kevin Zwemstra, Tobias Olsen, Scott Tuffy, and Flavio Dantas. Well, Alan, I don't think we could have asked for a more exciting round here from Zandvoort. That was some hard racing for the lead, and of course the contact is unfortunate, but that led to a bit of a surprise winner in Sion Koide, who was resting about a second and a half away from the lead pretty much the entire day, and right as the top two made a mistake, he was right there to capture the win.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do, really. Just be there to capture the victory, and yeah, he absolutely was. Didn't miss a beat once that incident did indeed happen. Mini was obviously too damaged to defend, and see Benitez, as you mentioned, just got onto the podium as well because of that. Yeah, 2 podiums in 2 weeks for him. Which is a very good record indeed. But it just shows when the opportunities are limited, sometimes it can actually make the racing a bit better. I mean, we were massively looking forward to Spa, I certainly was, but in the end it sort of left you wanting a little bit more because there wasn't that great fight for the lead right towards the very end. There's so many overtaking opportunities around there that it almost dilutes the racing sometimes, but when there's so few at Zandvoort, then it does make them all the more important. And we might see a similar thing next week at Imola, another very similar circuit in the fact that it's twisty, limited overtaking opportunities, and that could present similar situations to what we've seen today. Hopefully minus the contact this time though.
Definitely think Imola is going to provide some similar racing. You can join us in 1 week's time here on RaceSpotTV from the virtual Imola. Once again, it is next Friday, August 20th, and same time, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time. For Hugo Louise, our technical director, Ellen O'Leary in the booth with me, my name is Joshua Lee. Thank you for joining us from virtual Zandvoort. We'll see you in 1 week's time from virtual Imola, and thank you for tuning in to the Apex Racing Academy official F3 Championship on RaceSpot TV.